Hey guys, what's up? Mila Buckley, the Hangry Woman, and today I'm going to show you how to make mini bundt cakes. These are so fun. They're super easy. We're going to walk through how to make the actual cake and the chocolate ganache. One of the best features of this cake is that they are gluten-free, they're also sugar-free, and they're dairy-free. You're going to be like, how did you do all this magic? Well, it's just the spirit of my cooking. So I'm really excited to get into these with you guys. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like these kinds of recipes. And let's hop into how to make these mini bundt cakes. First, we'll start out by greasing our pan. I'm just using a non-stick spray to do this. You're also going to preheat your oven. We'll start making the cake by adding our butter to our stand mixer, and then we'll add our Truvia brown sugar blend to that, and we're going to whip that together. So I just like to whip it together until the butter and the sugar are incorporated. They make kind of a smooth paste, and that's how you know when it's ready. You'll kind of see it stick to the sides of the bowl. That's absolutely okay, but that's how you know that everything is whipped together really nicely and incorporated. And this step just ensures that the butter and sugar are creamed together so it's more even in the batter. That's always something that you want. You want evenness in the batter. You don't want like a bite that tastes a little savory and then a bite that tastes a little sweet. You want to whip it all together so that it all tastes good and exactly how you expect it. Once it's all incorporated, we're going to start to add some of our wet ingredients. So you'll add in your vanilla, and then you're going to add in your eggs one at a time and beat them one at a time until they're incorporated. I'm doing it a little faster here so you don't have to sit through that whole process, but just make sure your eggs are properly incorporated. And then you're also going to add in your canned pumpkin, which is another part of the wet ingredients and the last one that's in there. Be sure to make sure you get all the canned pumpkin in there that you can. Then we're going to turn off our stand mixer and we're going to start to add the dry ingredients. So first I add my baking powder. This is going to help with rise in the bundt cakes. What happens with almond flour is that it doesn't rise that well, so I tend to put a lot more baking powder in than you would expect in a baking recipe. And then I also add in my almond flour, which is just finely ground almonds. It's not anything special or anything different. It's literally it, finely ground almonds. And then we're gonna keep mixing it until everything is incorporated. Then we're gonna add in our pumpkin spice flavoring. This is optional. I liked this flavoring for my coffee and I thought it tasted good, so I added a little bit of it to my mixture, but you don't have to do that. I find that to be an optional step. You don't absolutely need it. It adds like a nice little extra bit of pumpkin spice, but it's not a mandatory step. And then make sure here you're scraping down your bowl if you need to. Then you'll add in your pumpkin spice, just powdered pumpkin spice is what I used here. And then you'll add in your chocolate chips and let those mix in just a little bit. I didn't add too many chocolate chips because you're also gonna have a chocolate ganache on top, but just a few chocolate chips is fine. And then you'll also add in your pecans for crunch. Love that extra texture. Then I'm going to scrape down everything. If you need to mix it again, you can, but I just scrape down the paddle attachment in my stand mixer to make sure that I'm getting all of the batter off. And then I'll just remove that to make it easy to get my stand mixer bowl out. Give it one last good stir, making sure to scrape down the sides, because sometimes even if you have the paddle attachment that scrapes the sides, it doesn't always get everything. So doing that little extra hand scrape and just that little extra stir helps incorporate everything perfectly. Then you'll take your bowl off of your stand mixer and you'll start to fill your mini bundt cake tin. And I went for a mini size because one of the things that I really like about smaller sizes is that you just get the ability to have what you want Pre-portioned sizes also have lower carbs, just makes it easy. Once you have these filled and evened out, this actually should make 6, but I overfilled them a little bit. You'll plop them into your oven to bake, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is the ganache. We're gonna make our ganache while the bundt cakes cook. And so this is a really easy process. It's done on the stovetop and it doesn't take too long to do, but it results in a really nice, rich, shiny, delicious chocolate. And this is also sugar-free and dairy-free. First thing you want to do is heat a pan, and you're going to add 8 ounces of chocolate chips to your pan. Next, you'll add in your oat milk to your chocolate chips, and this is going to be on a medium-low heat. So you don't want this to boil over or get too hot because you don't want to scorch your chocolate chips. So medium heat is perfectly fine, and then you're going to stir it up with a spatula. I actually got a little inspired as I was stirring with a spatula, kind of realized it was the wrong tool. Wooden spoon is not the best for this. I would use a silicone whisk, which is what you'll see me switch to in just a moment when I figure out that that's probably the better way to incorporate this. There we go. So much better. So you're going to keep whisking this until the chocolate chips are incorporated. This is going to take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes depending on how hot your stove is. At first, you're going to see kind of little bits of chocolate chips, little chunks in there, but over time, as you keep stirring, the mixture is going to become shinier. It's going to become thicker. That is the sign that you're on the right track. And don't worry if your stove is not too hot. There's no way that you can ruin this. All you got to do is make sure you keep low heat on your stove and continually stir. Make sure you stir in the center. Make sure you stir from the sides. Just be sure that you're getting the oat milk incorporated with the chocolate by whisking it continually. That is my best tip for this ganache, honestly. It's very easy to make ganache. It's a 1-to-1 of any kind of cream and your chocolate. I just happen to be using oat milk because we wanted to make this a good dairy-free version for y'all. So you're gonna keep stirring. Like I said, it's gonna seem like this takes forever, but you are on the right track when you keep stirring. There's going to be a certain point where you can leave it be for just a second and you're able to add in your spices. So just keep stirring, keep stirring. The stirring is also going to agitate the oat milk and the chocolate and ensure that it starts to thicken, which is a sign of a good ganache, is when it's thick and when it's shiny. So I don't know how many times I've said stir in this video, but you're going to keep stirring. Then you can let it kind of sit for just a second, and you can add a pinch of salt, which is going to help enhance the sweetness a little bit. And then I also added just about a teaspoon of pumpkin spice just because I wanted a little extra pumpkin spice flavor. This part is honestly not mandatory, but I like the added pumpkin spice in this, especially as a fall flavor. But like I said, feel free to leave it out. It's just something that I thought added a little extra something to it, you know. So we're going to keep stirring here. As you can see, it has thickened. The mixture has thickened a lot since we first started. It can kind of coat the spatula, which is a great sign. And then look at it there. It's so thick. It's so shiny and so nice. I've turned off the heat at this point, and I'm just giving it a quick little mix just to be sure that I can kind of get everything incorporated and also just make sure that there aren't any lumps in there. You want a silky smooth ganache, and you can see there I'm kind of testing that thickness, which is really nice. What I love about this ganache is that you can use it as a topping for cupcakes. I used it here for my mini bundt cake recipe, which is coming pretty soon for you guys. And I also am loving using the soft leftover ganache in my coffee. You guys know how much I love my coffee, and I think it's just such a nice way to use it. It gets so thick. It's really nice and creamy, and it's nice to know that you can do a dairy-free version with oat milk. And then it's that easy. You're going to dress the bundt cakes with the ganache, and that's literally it. I love this recipe. I think it goes amazing with a morning coffee. I also think that these are pretty rich, so you don't have to even eat a whole bundt cake. Like, it's a lot, but if you decide to, that's okay. That's totally up to you. I hope that you guys try this recipe and that you like it. The full steps are on hangrywoman.com. You can search for mini pumpkin bundt cakes and you'll find it super easily. And that's it. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below if you would try this, or let me know with a rating on the blog if you did make it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.